is what I do every day. It's like I'm a trucker. This is my truck.
Al Morrow has been trucking for years, leading Canadian rowers to over 20 world championships and 7 Olympics. But his love affair with rowing started on a small corner of Lake Ontario.
I loved being on the water. The perspective from the bay, of the city, especially down under Dunder and Castle and out in front of the Yacht Club and Leander, it's beautiful along the far shoreline. We used to row out to the Skyway Bridge. To me, it was all adventure. We used to be able to row into Cootes Paradise under the bridge when it was open. So to me, it was just fun. It was play, and it was play at its highest level.
Al would reach the highest level of rowing on home soil at the '76 Olympics in Montreal.
For me, being in an Olympic sport, a hardcore Olympic sport with really no professional opportunities, that's as high as you can go. So it was pretty thrilling at the time, and I was really lucky. I believe I made teams in the '70s that were, let's say, relatively easier to make. We weren't that strong in rowing, so I think I was almost right place, right time, and feel very blessed that I had those opportunities.
But Al wouldn't waste any time transitioning to the next stage of his rowing career.
Yeah, I literally got on the train from Montreal and contacted the athletic department at the University of British Columbia, where I was doing some graduate studies at the time, and said I'd love to be involved in coaching. I'd like to put something back into the sport, and they needed the head coach at the time. So I thought, well, why not? I just jumped into it. There was a ready-made program there. The previous coach had to leave abruptly. So I got right into a fairly high level of coaching, literally a month after the Montreal Olympics, and just went on full bore. And one thing led to the next. 2 years later, I had a professional contract. I was one of the first professional coaches in the country, because rowing coaches were not being paid in those days. And it was almost like it was right place, right time, right person for that job, and one thing led to the next very quickly.
Well, you have no choice but to keep your inside arm straight when you do that drill.
In 1980, Al became a national team head coach. By the end of the decade, a group of women would put Canadian rowing on the map. Marnie McBean and Catherine Heddle won 3 gold medals at the Barcelona Games, thrusting their program and coach into the spotlight.
We had a very special group of women that came into the program in the late 80s, and I again was fortunate to be named the head coach in 90 and worked with these women together, and we grew together. And there was a lot of factors at play there. The wall fell in 90, and the powers in women's rowing at the time were the Eastern Bloc. So we were kind of I often refer to as the best of the rest, and we grabbed that opportunity to be the top, some of the top rowers in the world, and it worked out really well again.
Al keeps on trucking. Since 1991, he has won 27 world and Olympic medals as coach. In 1999, the International Rowing Association named Al Coach of the Year. He continues to coach at the national level and is involved with the High Performance Center in London, where the women's teams train. This is Al Morrow's 8th induction into a Sports Hall of Fame.
I'm honored, obviously, and especially in my hometown. I think it's probably the greatest honor you can get, to be recognized by your old friends, your peers, your city, your community. So it's definitely a huge honor.
The Hamilton Sports Hall of Fame welcomes Al Morrow.